Hey everyone, welcome back to Sweat Nation. In today's video, we're diving into a topic that a lot of people struggle with: love handles. These stubborn rolls on the sides of your waist can be incredibly frustrating to get rid of, and it often feels like no matter what you do, they just don't budge. But here's the good news. While love handles are tough to eliminate, they're far from impossible. And no, you don't need to starve yourself or spend endless hours at the gym. Instead, with the right approach that balances nutrition, strength training, and cardio, you can eliminate them for good. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 essential steps, all based on the latest science, to help you get rid of your love handles permanently. So, whether you've been struggling with this for years or just recently started noticing those extra rolls, stick with me. Let's get started. Understanding the formation of love handles. Before we get into the steps to eliminate love handles, let's first understand how they form in the first place. The reality is that love handles don't appear overnight. They're not something that suddenly pops up after one big meal or a few weeks of bad eating habits. Instead, they're the result of consistent overeating over a long period of time, months or even years, of consuming more calories than your body burns. Our bodies are incredibly efficient at storing excess energy as fat, and unfortunately, the midsection is one of the primary areas where this fat is stored. This is especially true for men who tend to accumulate fat around the abdomen, but women, particularly after menopause, also experience fat storage in this area. The frustrating part is that the first place your body stores fat is often the last place it loses it. This means that areas like your lower belly, back, and love handles can be the most difficult to slim down. You may notice that fat disappears from your face, arms, or legs before you start to see any real progress around your waist. But here's the thing. While love handles might be tricky to get rid of, they're not special or different from other types of fat. The same principles that apply to overall fat loss apply here too. With the right combination of diet, exercise, and consistency, you can reduce your love handles over time. Mastering your nutrition, the foundation of fat loss. Now that we've covered how love handles form, let's move on to the first major step in getting rid of them: nutrition. You've probably heard this before, but it's worth repeating. You can't out-train a bad diet. No matter how many hours you spend in the gym, if your diet isn't on point, you won't see the results you're hoping for. The key to losing fat, whether it's from your love handles or anywhere else, is being in a caloric deficit. This means you need to consume fewer calories than your body needs to maintain its current weight. When you're in a caloric deficit, your body starts using its stored fat for energy, which leads to fat loss. However, here's a common mistake that many people make: cutting calories too drastic. They think that by eating a lot less, they'll lose fat faster. And while you might see quick results in the beginning, this approach is rarely sustainable in the long run. Extreme calorie restriction often leads to feelings of deprivation, low energy, and eventually binge eating, which can cause you to regain the weight you lost, plus more. Instead, aim for a more moderate and sustainable caloric deficit. A good rule of thumb is to try and lose about 1 pound, 450 grams, of fat per week, which means you should aim to eat around 500 fewer calories per day than your body burns. This slower approach allows you to maintain your energy levels, preserve muscle mass, and stay consistent over the long term. It's also important to remember that fat loss is not immediate. When you start losing fat, you'll notice changes in areas like your face, arms, chest, and shoulders first. It can take a while before you see significant changes in stubborn areas like your lower belly or love handles, so patience and consistency are key. Strength training, the secret to sculpting your body. The second step in getting rid of love handles is strength training, specifically weightlifting. Now, you might be wondering how lifting weights can help you lose fat around your waist. After all, weightlifting doesn't burn as many calories as cardio, right? That's true, but weightlifting plays a crucial role in fat loss in 2 key ways. First, it helps you build muscle in areas that can create the illusion of a smaller waist. For example, by building up the muscles in your upper back, shoulders, and chest, you can create a V-taper shape, which makes your waist appear narrower in comparison. Second, and more importantly, weightlifting helps you preserve muscle mass while you're in a caloric deficit. When you're losing weight, your body isn't just burning fat, it's also burning muscle. And the less muscle you have, the slower your metabolism becomes, which makes it harder to continue losing fat. By incorporating regular strength training into your routine, you can prevent muscle loss, which helps keep your metabolism running high and makes it easier to lose fat over time. But how much weightlifting do you really need to do? The good news is that you don't have to spend hours in the gym every day. Research shows that just 3 to 6 sets per muscle group per week is enough to maintain your muscle mass during the fat loss phase. So even if you can only lift weights 3 or 4 times a week, you'll still see great results as long as you're consistent. If you're new to weightlifting or struggle with consistency, start small and build from there. You don't need to hit the gym 6 days a week. 3 full body sessions per week can be just as effective as a more frequent schedule, especially if you're able to stick with it over the long haul. Cardio, burning extra calories efficiently. Now, let's talk about cardio, which is another essential component of fat loss, especially when it comes to love handles. While weightlifting is great for preserving muscle and shaping your body, it doesn't burn a ton of calories. In fact, the average person burns only about 1.7 to 3 calories per minute during a weightlifting session. By contrast, cardio exercises like running, cycling, or swimming can burn anywhere from 10 to 20 calories per minute, depending on your weight and intensity. This makes cardio one of the most efficient ways to burn additional calories and accelerate fat loss. That said, cardio doesn't have to be intimidating. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours on a treadmill to see results. In fact, walking is one of the most underrated forms of cardio for fat loss. It's low impact, easy on your joints, and it burns a significant number of calories over time. If you're just getting started, I recommend tracking how many steps you take on an average day. Then, gradually increase your step count by about 2,000 steps per day until you're consistently hitting 8,000 to 10,000 steps. This alone can make a big difference in the number of calories you burn each day. If you want to add more intense cardio to your routine, that's great too. But the key is to find something you enjoy and can do consistently. Could be cycling, swimming, brisk walking, or hiking, whatever gets you moving. Start with 15 to 20 minutes of moderate intensity cardio a few times a week and increase from there. Consistency is what matters most, not how extreme your sessions are. Overcoming plateaus, making adjustments when progress stalls. One thing that many people don't realize is that as you lose weight, your body becomes more efficient at maintaining its current state. This is known as metabolic adaptation, and it's one of the main reasons why people hit weight loss plateaus. As you lose fat, your body burns fewer calories because you weigh less and require less energy to maintain your body's functions. Plus, your body starts to subconsciously move less in an effort to preserve energy. This can lead to a situation where you're still eating in a deficit and exercising, but the fat loss slows down or even stops. If you find yourself in this situation, where you've been stuck at the same weight or haven't lost fat for 2 to 3 weeks, it's time to make a small adjustment. There are 2 main ways to break through a plateau. Reduce your calorie intake slightly. This doesn't mean drastically cutting your calories again. Often, just reducing your intake by about 100 calories per day can be enough to kickstart fat loss again. For example, you might swap out a snack or reduce your portion sizes slightly. Increase your activity level. If cutting calories isn't appealing to you, another option is to increase your activity level by adding more cardio or simply moving more throughout the day. This could mean adding an extra 10 to 20 minutes of cardio to your routine or increasing your daily step count by a few thousand steps. These small adjustments can help you break through plateaus without making your routine feel overwhelming or unsustainable. Evaluating your goals. Is it worth going all the way? The last step in getting rid of love handles might come as a surprise, but it's an important one. Evaluating your goals. A lot of people get caught up in the idea of eliminating every last bit of fat around their waist, but the truth is, for most of us, getting to a point where our love handles are completely gone requires reaching a very low body fat percentage. For some people, this might mean getting down to a body fat percentage that's difficult to maintain in the long term. You might start to notice that your energy levels drop, your workouts suffer, or you feel more irritable or tired. And in the pursuit of that last bit of fat, you might end up sacrificing your overall quality of life. That's why it's important to ask yourself, is it worth it? Instead of focusing on achieving a perfect body, consider the progress you've made. Maybe your waist has already shrunk, your arms are more defined, or your energy levels have improved. Celebrate those victories. For most people, having a little bit of fat around the midsection is totally normal and healthy. The key is to focus on sustainable changes that make you feel strong, confident, and happy in your own skin. And that's it for today's video. If you follow these 5 steps, nutrition, strength training, cardio, overcoming plateaus, and setting realistic goals, you'll be well on your way to eliminating those love handles for good. Remember, fat loss is a slow and steady process, and the key to success is consistency. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Stick with it, keep making progress, and I promise you'll get there. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fitness tips and workout routines. And don't forget to check out my next video, where I'll break down the best foods to eat for burning stubborn fat. Until next time, keep pushing, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next video on Sweat Nation.